pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I will introduce the Augusta Government today. Okay, I am Candace Payne, I'm the chair. To my immediate right, Commissioner Tom Rawls.
Good morning.
Good morning, Thomas. To my immediate left is Commissioner Andy Conthausen. To his left is Roger Balls, our CAO, and the person at the very end is the auspicious Jenny Chambers, head of the Planning Department and Public Works. There. We also have two people. Oh, somebody took the darn signage. We have two people from the Public Health Department, and they will be giving probably a short presentation, and they took my list, so I can't remember your name, of course. Would you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Marissa Johnson.
Marissa Johnson, and
Katie Maslowski.
that's why I couldn't remember. Okay. Thank you for attending. Okay, that's the introductions. Reports. Do we have any reports? No. Okay, then let's start with the sheriff report. Sheriff is off drinking coffee with somebody. Or who knows, maybe he's protecting our citizens. Public Works report. Jenny.
Chair Payne and Commissioners, again for the record, my name is Jenny Chambers, the Augusta County Public Works and Planning Department Director. Some updates for you guys today. Some big updates, I think, for the Augusta area. Birdtail Bridge that we had to do a temporary kind of closure on heavy weights and oversized loads. This is the bridge over Flat Creek. We did get the detour installed and it's in place. So pretty successful project. We had to get it temporarily closed for just vehicle passenger traffic back in October. Pretty quickly, you know, as coming in the end of August, to get the detour in place was a pretty large accomplishment. We were able to secure a bid from City of Wallace, Idaho, on a bridge that they had that they were getting rid of. That we were successful with that bid that we put in for. A new bridge would cost anywhere from $120,000 to $150,000 for an actual bridge to purchase, and we would have been at least 10 months out if we had to purchase a bridge to get it actually built. Getting the bid from the City of Wallace allowed us to get the bridge that was already built, and we only had to pay $50,000 for that bridge. So, and then we just had to get the coordination on delivery from the City of Wallace here. The Road and Bridge Department are the ones that installed the detour bridge. We have to do road construction to kind of go off of Birdtail Road, go on to Dearborn Ranch, which was very nice of them to get us agreement to allow us to use their land, and the bridge is installed. So it's ready to go for the winter, it's ready to go for heavy loads and overweight loads, while we continue to work on the design and efforts to secure funding for a permanent bridge replacement of Birdtail Creek. So pretty successful project all in all, fairly short time frame, and that's currently in place. And just a reminder for those that are in the area using that bridge, it is only for overweight loads and larger loads. The vehicle traffic should remain on Birdtail Road. Dearborn was just gracious enough to allow us to use that detour for those other load operations. And then there's a gate on either side that has to be closed behind them because they do have cattle in that detour area. So just wanted to give an update on that. Another update, which usually there's folks on the Augusta Clemens Bridge area here that are interested in this, but as everybody's aware, the county did secure through the legislative session and Montana Coal Endowment Program grant for the Augusta Clemens Bridge replacement. That was $700,000. In addition, last month we were also able to secure Senate Bill 536 at a request of $793,700 for the match money associated with that Montana Coal Endowment grant, for a total project cost of $1,543,000. Excuse me, I'm going to start that over. $1,543,700 for a total project that's 100% funded by by grant funding that's not gonna come out of the bridge infrastructure dollars. So, yes.
That was a
so-
drum roll, that was,
So we were concerned about whether or not we were gonna have the match money available and whether that was gonna delay the project based upon saving, but we now have that secured as well. So we're underway with starting that design of that particular bridge to get that project rolling with an anticipation of most likely construction in 2027. It's gonna take about a year or so to get that design completed, and working with the landowners in the area for any public comment they may have on that process. So that's good news. Another one within the last month or so that was fairly quickly, for those of you that recall, the Augusta community has had flooding issues in the past, 2018 and then and then also in 2019. We in the county did a flood mitigation plan for the Augusta area to evaluate hydraulics and flow and what you could do from a mitigation options based upon the Augusta area. That was done years ago, about after the 1819 flood. We have a different prioritization as far as what could be done that could help mitigation. It's not going to stop flooding completely, but it certainly would mitigate flooding. Mitigate flooding. And so in September of 2022, Lewis Clark County applied for a hazard mitigation grant through FEMA and the Disaster Emergency Services State Agency to do what's called a flow redirectional berm. At the time, we did not get that grant that we applied for in September of 2022. The last month, they indicated to us that they had other projects that they had funded that aren't able to use the money. So they asked us if we could quickly modify the schedule, reevaluate the budget, and get an updated commitment letter from the commissioners in order to get that project back up to the forefront in order to get funded. So we've done that. The commissioners approved the funded commitment letter on Thursday. This is all going really, really fast. On Thursday, today, we are getting that grant application submitted completely back to Disaster and Emergency Services. For $1.7 million will be that grant, and we already have, with some foresight based upon that September 22 funding, the $425,000 match required for that grant that's been carried forward, knowing that we have this opportunity moving forward. So that's really good news. We're pretty positive that they're gonna push that paperwork through and we're gonna get the project started. Again, we'll have to get a consultant on hand to help us with the final design of that berm. Also work with landowners that are impacted. The success of this project is really gonna depend upon agreements we can reach with those landowners to get this berm installed and in place. So just know that that's gonna be coming, and we're gonna reach out to those folks moving forward. Yes,
I
Commissioner?
have a question, Jenny. There is a person in our audience who is concerned about the Augusta Clemens Bridge. Will this berm impact that bridge or their access to it, or?
No, Commissioner Payne, great question. No, we won't impact Highway 287. We'll have to coordinate with MDT on any right-of-way work. It also won't impact any of the bridge areas. But in combination, the redirectional flow berm and also the improvement we're gonna do on Augusta Clemens by opening up that channel and raising the elevation of that bridge in the future is gonna help both the flooding efforts together in the long run. So these are gonna be both beneficial projects for the flood issues associated with Augusta as well. So a great connection. So that's it. We just have some major large projects that we're either wrapping up or we're continuing to design, seeking additional funding for the Birdtail Bridge. We've got funding secured for Augusta Clemens, funding secured now for Augusta flood mitigation. Next steps on that phase. And then we'll just focus on the design and then doing these construction efforts in the next couple of years. So Augusta's getting a lot of major projects, I think, that we're focused on. And then the last thing I just want to mention is that we're preparing for winter prep, so all the snow plows are down in the Helena shop with the maintenance getting looked over, new equipment put on as needed, and then getting back up because we know winter's coming. So we're just basically in that transition mode right now, and knowing that that's a change in the season based on our operations. So that's what I have today for you, Chairman and Commissioners.
Question? Just a second. Is there a question from the commission?
No.
Is there a question from the commission? Is there any public comment? Former Commissioner Giese.
former Lewis and Clark County Commissioner, resident of Augusta. Thank you very much, Commission and Jenny. My question is, I have two. One, where exactly is this berm going to be placed? And number two, when do you expect, and I know that these timelines are fluid, when would you expect that berm to be in place? Where and when? Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
Chair Payne and Commissioners, Susan. So I have a map here that I'm happy to show whoever at the public and after. It's kind of hard to see right now, but it does have the berm profile. And I wish I would have looked at who these landowners are that were impacted previously, but we will definitely do that. If you think about where Highway 287 comes in and then Main Street kind of goes on a parallel basis, the berm kind of redirects on the back end, kind of around where the fairgrounds would go. So the fairgrounds then go just adjacent to the fairgrounds on the back side. The berm is then constructed on either side of that thing, but I'm happy to pass this table out so you can kind of see that for those of you who are familiar. And you can, if you just want to look at that, thank you, and then rotate it around, that would help with the location.
Oops,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry, thanks. So that's kind of the general location, and of course it'll be further defined as we work on the design and what that actually looks like. And when you think about a berm, people are like, is that 10 feet high or is that 20 feet high? What kind of berm are we talking about? At the highest on the profile, you'll see it's only about 4 feet high at the highest, down to a low of 1. So it's not like a large berm, it's just a redirectional berm, so the water kind of hits that and kind of gets diverted to a different direction. So 7 feet wide, kind of think about 7 feet wide, and at the highest 4 feet, at the lowest at 1 feet. So it's kind of a sloped swale that kind of has a berm associated with it. As far as time frame, Disaster and Emergency Services asked us to escalate the schedule of the particulars that we're putting forward. It's really, really aggressive. So we're gonna end up having to get most likely an extension through FEMA based upon this project. But our goal would be to get the design and landowner agreements done by the end of 2026, so December of 2026, with construction coming the next year after that.
27.
So 27. So a very aggressive schedule. Again, it's going to depend upon cooperation from the landowners and agreements we can put in place. But we're going to get a consultant on board right away to get us help us with this particular project. So I think that answers the questions.
Is there another public comment? And if so, you really need to come up here because
I
we're
will.
taping this.
Susan Dickinson. Jenny, are you also the director of planning?
Yes. Switch hats, would you, Jenny?
Okay, no, I just wanted to know if I had heard you correctly.
Yes.
Okay, you must be a very busy lady.
Thanks. Wow. And Chair Payne and Commissioners, I guess just to add on that note, I did at the beginning want to indicate that, yeah, that's a fairly new assignment, I guess I would call it, or an agreement. Roger Baltz, Chief Administrative Officer, reorganized a little bit the county, and we consolidated for efficiencies between Public Works and Planning. So at the end of July, I became the Director of Planning as well as Public Works. And so the idea is to streamline and bring both departments closer together as we do subdivision and growth, and especially with the county just updating the 20-year growth policy. There's a need to have a coordinated effort between Public Works, where we're seeing from infrastructure needs, and what planning is doing from a community development engagement standpoint. So it's the idea is to bring that forward and kind of bring those two groups moving forward and what that looks like. So with that note, I'm going to start transitioning a little bit, not coming to Government Day as much. I've got my team that can certainly support us and provide updates. So I'm working on a schedule to have them kind of rotate. So I'll come maybe quarterly while I have other staff come on a regular basis to still provide updates to the community. So thank you, Chair. Hey.
You are very welcome, Jenny. Andy, did you have something auspicious to add to this conversation?
Well, I don't know about that, but something to add, Chair Payne. I just kind of comment and question. So as you mentioned in your comments, that this has been long in the planning process. It's new now, again. I mean, it's refreshed, if you will. But as far back as 2022, I believe, when we did the study, this was the preferred option that was brought forward, and probably the most effective and value added option in terms of return on investment. So it's not new, and I think we did at that time present it to the community. And I guess where I'm going is just to, one, to state that fact, but two, it might be important, and I think you're probably planning to do this, but to bring it back to the community just to show them, you know, because I think a lot of people probably forgot all about it in the last 4 years that we even had this as our #1 option post flooding in 18, 19. So it'd be good to kind of reorient the community so they don't see, oh, geez, they're throwing this thing on us now. But it's actually been in the planning for a really long time. So just a thought, and Commissioner Giesi's kind of her comments made me think of that people are probably not oriented to the plan as they were a few years ago, I'm sure. So, thanks.
Yeah, Chair Payne, Commissioner Hunhausen, that's exactly it. As when we get a consultant on board and we really figure out what the schedule and what that looks like, we'll come back to do a presentation to the community on, again, why was this the preferred option? What is the plan moving forward, and what do we hope that would actually gain based upon those efforts? There's really good flood mapping and tools that we've identified that shows the impacts that this is gonna make versus the cost. And while the most highly beneficial product is very, very costly, why this is the kind of the preferred direction we're headed at a reasonable dollar amount associated with good outcomes. So we'll have a presentation in the future.
Thank you, Jenny.
Question up to Mike.
Tom?
I was just, did you mention when you thought the Augusta Clemens Bridge would we'd be able to complete that?
Yep, Chair Payne, Commissioner Rolfe, so we have the money secured for the Augusta Clemens Bridge, which is great news. And we will start the design process for that. It's about a year and a half for the design. We anticipate construction in 2027. So we're hoping we can meet that. If not, it will be early 2028.
So about the same time as the other one.
Yep.
And actually, it's gonna improve the flow in the, away from the downtown area as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Any further comments, questions? Seeing none, we can move on. Don't believe we have a Forest Service report here. You're recovering from all the forest fires you've been fighting. And the public health report, ladies.
Good morning, Chairman, Payne, and Commissioners. We're from the Lewis and Clark Public Health.
State your name.
Marissa Johnson. I'm Katie Maslowski.
Would you say that again, please?
Maslowski.
Thank you.
The only real update we were bringing today was about, we are putting on a community baby shower in November for moms who typically wouldn't probably be able to get a baby shower. So our goal is, this is our first year, we're hoping to make it an annual event if it goes well this year, and we can get funding for future years, but we're hoping to about 50 moms.
It's open to 75 moms, and they're allowed to bring guests. We've had a lot of community involvement already, and then we're gonna offer things like car seat checks, set them up with like a pack and play for their baby, and then have a few other things.
So we have donation sites all around Helena and East Helena, Townsend, and then flyers will be placed around. We're gonna put some up here. So it's open to all Lewis and Clark, Mar, Broadwater, Jefferson County residents. Moms can apply through a QR code. And then anybody who wants to donate, they can do a monetary donation or drop off items at any of the donation sites, which the website on the QR code that will be on the flyers has all that information available for where those locations are.
I hesitate to state this, but there are those of us who do not have good luck using QR codes, just so you know.
I know it can be, sometimes it can be challenging to get them to work well, but
No, I can't get it to work at all.
Oh.
So, unless my kids or grandkids are with me.
yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, so any questions?
Any questions, Tom? Mr. Jandy?
Well, thanks for being here. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Glad that we're doing monthly reports on different parts of the health department and what you do, because a lot of people don't know. So I'm sure you're going to talk about your home visiting stuff too today, right? Is that
Yes.
next? Okay, but the baby shower, so the target moms are those that may not be able to traditionally have or don't have a lot of support maybe or opportunity to have a baby shower, and then they could get some of those basic needs met, like some of the items that you might see at a baby shower, but maybe just
Yeah.
talk about that a little bit. I mean, some of the things you're hoping that are donated or maybe that will be provided.
Yeah, so the first 50 applicants will be income-based, and then we'll open it up to nominations, 25 nominations, so somebody can nominate somebody that they feel is worthy or wants to go, or a mom that maybe wouldn't apply for themselves. And then, yeah, so we're hoping to get donations for some of the larger items. We're hoping we can get is car seats, pack and place, strollers, and then
Just the basic
Basic
things like
needs.
wipes, diapers, bottles,
yeah,
recovery stuff for mom.
yeah, and then
Is there a date? for
yes,
this?
November 2nd will be the date.
Okay, and what day of the week?
It's a Sunday afternoon.
Okay, and the location?
And so, well, we're keeping the location to only applicants only, so that people don't show up that weren't apply. We don't want too many people to show up. It's applicant only. So, but we are taking donations until the 24th of October, and the various donation sites will have you can leave stuff there. But we're trying not to publicly announce it just because we don't want to misconstrue that it's for anybody. Like we want to limit it to the people who apply.
I'm glad you clarified. Tom?
If somebody doesn't want to use
The QR.
code, how should they make a check?
You can make checks directly to Lewis and Clark County Health Department, but you need to put that it's for the community-wide baby shower.
I'm sure folks can just go to the website as well.
And there is a link just to our website too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really exciting because we're hoping it goes well. We'll see if we can make this an annual event or not, but if not, hopefully it'll be a good one for this year. So.
I think right now we have 20 people that have applied to attend.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
And that's been open for only 2 weeks.
Yeah, we haven't checked our donation sites to see how well they're doing with donations, but we're hoping at least at the bare minimum they'll get a diaper. We know for a fact, bare minimum, they'll get a diaper bags and diapers and wipes at minimum, and then anything above and beyond that will be based on donations and funding. So.
Is there any questions from the public? I'd like the record to show that we have 2 attendees from the Augusta Clemens Bridge area that just came in. Anyway, anything else?
Yeah, then just as a little overcap of our role, or what we do, we're both home visitors. I do Nurse Family Partnership. My program is for mothers who are pregnant, and I work with them until their 2nd birthday, and they have to meet income requirements and be pregnant in order to enroll in my program. And I provide evidence-based information, support, resource guidance, developmental screening, basically, of whatever they need services for. And I work with them in their homes or wherever they choose to have visits at. I'm pretty flexible with that. And then Katie?
I do Parents as Teachers, which is also an evidence-based program, and it works on child development, parent-child interaction, and then connects them to community resources.
And then we're both certified passenger safety technicians, so we are certified in handling installs for car seats, and we're both two of the only in Lewis and Clark County who also are certified in special needs car seats. So.
And then a few other programs we have is asthma home visiting, and that one's open to anybody with an asthma diagnosis, so a child or an adult.
Adults do have to have a primary diagnosis of asthma. It can't be secondary in order to qualify for that program. And that's a program that works with families for a year to help mitigate some of their triggers or help decrease their amount of emergency room visits. They go into the home, or they can do virtual home visit where they can check and see what maybe is causing some flare-ups with their asthma within their home. They provide air filters and bed sheets, or like mattress covers for those who participate in the program. And then are we supposed to talk about universal homes and stuff?
This past year, we've had a universal home visitor, which is exciting because the families that are enrolled in those programs don't have to qualify. Anybody can receive that home visitor and receive up to 4 home visits once baby is born. I think they can do 1 visit before baby's born and then 3 after. And so that's exciting because then we can kind of target everybody with a support person.
Do you work with the healthcare providers, the doctors that are actually going to be delivering the babies, or?
We don't have we've been working to bridge our collaboration with them and our relationships with them. I used to work for an OB office, and so I had really good connections to them, but that one closed. And so some of the new providers, it's been more of a challenge to work with them and get them kind of in collaboration with us. But the St. Peter's providers are really good at their.
They see you as part of a team?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Our number 1 referral source is WIC. We're hoping to try to get that more referral sources from like Helena OBGYN or Options Clinics. That's where our goal is to help bridge whatever gap that is that's deterring them from referring us.
Okay, thank you. Further questions? No further questions? Any public comment or questions? Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. It's amazing, all the things that our county provides for us. It's just continues to amaze me. Okay, public health. Ooh. Other business. There's no other business. Our next meeting will be October 10th, 2025. Is there any public comment on any public matter within the jurisdiction of the commission that is not on the agenda above? You're such a bashful group today. I'm used to a little more rowdy, throwing tomatoes, especially this time of year. Okay, that being said, I'm going to adjourn.
Oh,
this-
wait, I'm sorry.
Nope.
Can I have a public comment? I was back in the
Snooze,
commissioner.
you lose. Okay, sure.
I wasn't sneezing,
Based.
believe me.
I please don't tell us.
Susan Goodhusey. Since I've retired, I usually try to stay out of everybody's way with mixed degrees of success. But I have had people come banging on my door about the weeds on county property, okay? Right out here in the corner, there's a bunch, I think they call it kochia. There's a slug of, technical term, of knapweed up at the solid waste site. By the way, your solid waste guy up there is doing a terrific job. But the other concern that was brought to me is people speeding through town. We've seen a real uptick in that. And I know the sheriff's not here, but these are the concerns that people have brought to me in the last, I'm gonna say 10 days. But the weeds thing is kind of a recurring deal. And I know that this is the county building and that's county property, so if we could get that kochia squared away, that'd be great. And also the knapweed up at the dump. And I really worry, because we've got locals now here who are coming out on the sidewalks, shouting at people who are speeding through our town, and those tempers are getting hotter and hotter. They've got grandkids that they're very concerned about. So if you could pass that along to the sheriff, that'd be great. Thank you very much.
Susan,
Yes, ma'am.
I got a question. The speeders, does it tend to be hunters or fishermen, or do you have any idea? Do they have out-of-state
Some of
license?
them are local, thank you, Chairman Payne. Some of them are locals. We
Okay.
have some newly licensed drivers that are poorly supervised. But, it's just everybody, and we have had this is pretty busy thoroughfare, and it might be helpful, I don't know, that put up a sign that says, this is a highway to you, but it's Main Street to us, because it is our Main Street. It's just how, we go to the town's only grocery store, and it's a little bit hazardous, pulling into and out of the gas station. So, it's a mix. Sharon.
Well, I would think that, for example, the local speeders, generally, it's been my experience, the small towns, we, see people at the grocery store, your son was speeding on, and I want you to talk to him about it. So we can kind of do some self-control. This is not all up to the government.
True
But
that.
we will try to we don't have anybody here who can tell us.
So, if I can respond.
Certainly.
In the past, in a small town, people who have lived here forever and a day could probably tell you even better than I that sometimes small town deputies are a little bit loath to stop and ticket locals.
Yeah.
Because there's only one grocery store, there's one place to get your mail, right? And they just don't want to take the heat. But I just have to say that recently we had a deputy, Devin, I believe was his name, and that guy had absolutely no problem stopping locals, and we were grateful to him for that, okay? But there's no doubt, like Ron Lowe's here, he's worried about this for a long time. But maybe things will slow down a little bit in the winter, because you got people who are, beating the street between Glacier and Yellowstone, kind of on the hop, but it is an ongoing problem, and if we could have more law enforcement here on a more consistent basis for you, it'd be a wonderful thing, but we understand the challenges of that, because of our small population. But, anyway, thank you for paying attention to those.
Thanks for bringing it to our attention, Susan. Oh,
May
not a
I
public
add
comment.
one thing to what this lady?
You need to come up here, because we have to videotape. The law requires we video, and even the the poor people that we are trying
We're
to.
gonna be like the preacher putting us to sleep.
Hey, there will be no fist fighting in the gallery there.
I'd just like to add one thing to what
Please
that
state your name.
young lady said. I've had 2 or 3.
State your
highway-
name.
My name is Ron Lowe. I've lived in this town for over 30 years. I live on the corner. I'd like to have $1 for every person who's gone through that stop sign. They're not all local people. There's been beer trucks, there's been fire trucks, which ambulances, which probably should be going through the stop sign. But I've had more than one highway patrolman ask me, stand out there in front of the gas station and say, do you have any law enforcement here? I said, do you want me to tell the truth or lie to you? He said, I'd prefer if you tell me the truth. I said, we do have law enforcement here, but most of the time, they're either off duty or in another town. But a lot of them, they can't be 2 or 3 places at once. But most of the time, they're somewhere else, they're either in Lincoln, down in Craig, or someplace else. But they only work so many hours a day. But it's ridiculous. They have people, they stop people, give them tickets, but they say, well, people do what they want in Augusta. And they said, I've been behind one day, I was right behind him. He went through the stop sign, made a right turn, I gave him 2 tickets. He said, why are you giving me tickets? I live in Augusta. He people do what they want in Augusta. But the only one, and another thing, pedestrians are supposed to have the right of way, but in Augusta, you better, one day I stood out in front of the store to go across the street. You know what? 3 vehicles went right by me, the 4th vehicle was a highway patrolman, he stopped, let me go across. And I waved to him, he thanked him, and he just shook his head. But really, people think you can do what you want in Augusta, but pedestrians definitely do not have a right of way to cross the street. It doesn't matter whether people live here, I've almost got hit more than once trying to walk over here or go to the senior center for lunch. If you put a sign up there, the stop sign near where I live on the corner, Lower and Waller Street, they've taken the stop sign down before. Once they took it, they found it all the way up in the Sun Canyon.
And do we know who did this?
No,
Okay.
no, they don't, but really, they might as well take all the stop signs down. We've only got 2 streets in this highway, but they might as well take the stop signs down. Some of the deputies do a real good job, and some of them, I think we maybe need to go share it.
You know,
But I mean, a lot of them are afraid, we got a lot of really powerful ranchers around here.